It's DKB, what's going on, y'all? So the burning question for today is, will Denzel Mims make it out of training camp? And I would argue that he most likely will not, unless there's an opportunity somehow for him to continue to raise his status in the NFL again for better capital. But I don't see him making it onto our final roster, and here's essentially why. Now, we know a couple things about Denzel Mims from everything we pieced together through interviews and press conferences. Robert Saleh generalized it, but he may be within that pool of players that let the personal aspects of their newfound wealth and all kind of other manner of things of making it in the NFL impact their ability to perform at their peak. Now, we also know he hasn't had a healthy offseason so far. We also know that he struggled with grasping the playbook, at least according to the coaching staff. So we're talking about his first healthy offseason, which is automatically a plus for him. However, here's the realistic situation that he finds himself in. Now, Denzel Mims, at best, and this is any given order, but here's how I imagine the depth chart goes. Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios as your guaranteed top four. At number 5 and number 6, things get tossed up in the air, but you can say Denzel Mims is probably easily the number 5, at least compared to the other players around him. At number 6, maybe a UDFA, maybe somebody like Jeff Smith sticks around, or a DJ Montgomery, Tariq Black, etc. But what we know specifically about the coaching staff is that the number 4, number 5, number 6 players slotted at wide receiver needs to have versatility as well as be able to versatility and grasping the playbook and playing multiple positions, but they also need to be able to factor into special teams. You don't want to waste a spot for a player that's just going to sit on the bench necessarily the entire time, and Denzel Mims does not play special teams, which is a key factor for this. So even if he goes on to have a healthy offseason, even if he continues to go on and he actually starts demonstrating the ability that we've seen his rookie year and he takes it beyond that level, what he finds himself in is still a role where at best he could be number 5. Maybe he leapfrogs Braxton Berrios, which would be his best case scenario, but I don't really see him beating out a Corey Davis, an Elijah Moore, or Garrett Wilson necessarily. So unless something that crazy happens for him, he's most likely on the trading block, and we're seeing Joe Douglas essentially groom him to be able to kind of maximize his return. And if he can pull off a second or something higher, that'll be amazing. But I think the floor is the Chris Herndon trade, where we've seen him still get a fourth row player that's done very minimal for us outside his rookie year, much like Denzel Mims. So I would caution anybody that expects to see him on the roster. I personally love the kid myself. But it just doesn't seem like it's going to pan out between all the things that were happening. Just his skill set, at least as of right now, and what the West Coast offense requires from our players, it just doesn't. It hasn't matched up. So I don't know what trade destinations will look like. Right, there's definitely still a lot of teams that could use players. We've seen what the Falcons invested in Drake London, but they can still use another player. And who best to replace a Julio Jones than the player that has the same kind of skill set in Denzel Mims and same athletic ability? So, maybe we tap in with Atlanta and see what they're willing to offer us for a player that could be on the rise by the time training camps are finishing. Is easily enough able to replace him, at least if we go purely based off production, with somebody else that's cut from another team. Maybe one of the UDFAs show out, or somebody that's currently there like a Jeff Smith, who I think will definitely make the roster, and maybe a DJ Montgomery or somebody like that sticks. So it'll be sad to see him go, but I think that's the realistic situation that we will find ourselves in. But with that said, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Do you guys have an ideal team trade in mind for him, and what the return would look like for us? Or do you think there's a way that he can show his productivity in this offense and he finds a way to stay on the roster? I think it'll be a smart move to move him. But either way, curious to know what you guys' thoughts are. I'll catch you again. Peace.